Hey, rich friends. It is your girl, I am Sheila Michelle, with another I am Sheila Michelle podcast brought to you live with our Lunch Your Lab in studio participants. Thank y'all so much for being here. We are excited to bring you ladies Mr. and Mrs. Tarrance Williams. I almost said Blaney. So we have Tarrance Williams and Nikita Williams, also known as the infamous Nikita B. Yes, with us today. And super excited because if you don't know, you are getting ready to find out why Nikita is a hope dealer, a purpose pusher, a former director of nursing, who has been featured in BET, on TV One, as well as Bounce. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, super excited. Y'all look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. I mean, we tried.
But y'all tried it and y'all did it.
Thank you.
Y'all did it. So I'm so excited, like just the energy that y'all give off, you know, not only as a marriage unit, right? Not only as a unit of marriage, but even your individuality is so amazing. I want to make sure that the rich friends truly understand who the Williams are. Let's get started with that.
Okay.
I love the fact, Nikita, you know, you got your nursing background, you have your entertainment background, and then your mentorship, right? Your presence in mentorship and coaching as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I am a former director of nursing. Long-term care, that's my jazz. I like the geriatric population. And from that, I'm just compassionate about caring for people.
Okay.
And because of that, it has afforded me so many opportunities because I learned early on that you need to lead with what other people are lacking. Even in business, you lead with what the other people are lacking. If you see where everybody's doing it, there's something they're not doing. And whatever that thing is, lead with that and pull them in. Right? And I saw that people were lacking compassion. They didn't feel heard. They didn't feel like they had anybody to support them. So when I would go into facilities, I go into certain places that I'm consulting with, I listen to them. When they say they don't even speak when they come in, we don't feel appreciated. So when I go in, guess what I do? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
When I see them do something, I was like, thank you for doing that. If I can help, I help. It automatically sets me apart because they was like, how did she know? I listened. Right. So learning to lead with what other people are lacking. And it really built me up to what I'm doing now. The whole comedy thing, though, it was actually a trauma response. I lost my mom to breast cancer, and I was in a very, very, very deep depression. You know, I'm a preacher's kid, so, you know, they tell you how to deal. And what you should know, they tell you what you should do, but they don't tell you how to do it.
Right.
You know, and they always, you know, refer to scripture or either lean on God. I'm like, where you at?
Right.
Okay. Like, we called on him for mama.
Yeah.
And he didn't show up, and, you know, and just having to learn to cope and deal with different things. And sometimes people feel like, you know, I encourage people, sometimes you need prayer and appeal.
Yes.
Because people that's crazy don't know they're crazy.
That's right.
Okay. Right. So, yeah. And, look at your little studio audience and stuff.
They like that.
Yeah, it's a live.
They like that.
Y'all clap so they know it's real.
Yes.
Because some people be saying studio audience and they be pressing that little button and stuff. And then they be, I said, that's fake.
No, we got the nurses. The nurses are in the building today, y'all.
Gang. But yeah, so just having to learn to work through that stuff and to be real about it and let people know you ain't by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, people have learned to put labels on depression, and I'm not talking about like stigma, that too. Yeah. But they learned to put labels like Gucci on it.
Yeah.
Prada on it.
That's right.
And because you look expensive, people think you got it together.
Cure us.
Okay.
Cure us, please.
Yeah.
Cure us. Yeah, that's right. We not gonna pass the collection plate around. It's okay.
Not this time.
Not this time. Not this time.
Me.
Right.
That's why I do what I do for real, because I know how it feels to be have an invisible struggle. Because people don't see it.
That's right.
But it is there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to unpack some of what you said because all of that, you are a walking powerhouse child. So let's go back to the part about lead with what is lacking, right? And I think that's so important. That's a big CEO tip that the ladies in the room and the rich friends that are listening can really take heed to, like, lead with what is lacking.
Yes.
So when you are entering drug testing and lab, and these are billions of dollars industries, but there are players, right? And not only are there, it doesn't to me really matter how many players, it matters who are the players and what are they doing, right? So think about what it is that you can bring to the table to differentiate yourself, or even just the market that you're serving. What can you lead with that they are lacking? Because I know a lot of times people kind of struggle with, well, how can I be different? What can I be different, right? Drug testing is drug testing. Drawing blood is drawing blood, but no, not really, because some of y'all hurt when y'all be sticking, but that's another podcast episode. But I love that. So I think that's a great CEO tip for you all. Lead with what is lacking. You also talked about prayer and appeal. Yeah. Right? Prayer and appeal. And I think a lot of times people are approaching being a CEO without proper perspective. Right. Without the right tool set. And so you have to have what I call structure, CEO structure. Yes. What is it that got Nikita B to show up as the highest version of herself today? Do you see what I'm saying? What are the things that when you were, because grief, I feel like grief, I feel like you're going to grieve until you see that person on the other side. Like, I don't really think that grief really stops. It's just my opinion. But in those times, on your worst days, with your mom's transition, what are the things that allowed you to even show up to be Nikita B? Like, you had a whole what are the things, some things that you did to show up as the highest version of yourself?
So it is true that grief does not stop, but we have more control over it than we give ourselves credit for. Okay. A lot of times we're not willing to allow it to stop to a certain extent for whatever reason. Some people feel like if I stop grieving in this way, it means I don't care. Yeah. It means that passion is not there. It means I'm forgetting about them, and that's not what it is. Even our boys, they've been through a lot, and we lost 2 nephews, and like literally 6 months apart. And my son was in the car with the first guy that murdered my nephew. My nephew driving the car. Jesus. The guy's a passenger. My son is in the back seat. And the music they listen to, it'll cause trauma all by itself. My Lord. I had to turn it down because I thought somebody was after me. You know what I'm saying? God almighty. Right. I felt like an accessory. Right. Like, no. Yes. Yeah, I turned on short season. Yeah, but they listening to it, and there's a lot going on, and like, pow, heard it. It was like, maybe it was a radio, but then he said, like, it's slow motion, turned around. This guy had shot my nephew in the head while he was driving. So when I tell you, life has a way. Wow. And he didn't know how to process that thing. And he say, nah, I'm going to rep him till I die. I said, well, if you want to fast forward your death, then that mindset will get you there. Right. It's okay to grieve. Yeah. You're supposed to. It's a season for all things. Right. But how you grieve is different. So the way that I was able to do better, because I was doing terrible myself, is acronym POP. You got to make it pop, right? And that means principle over preference. Principle over preference means whatever your foundation is.
I see the girls writing.
You know what I mean? Like, it is. It's principle over preference. So whenever you prefer to feel a way that does not feel good to you, it does not serve you, it does not add value to you, you know that you're not operating in principle. Yes. Just flat out. And I literally drilled that in myself so much so that I could call it before it even started happening. Yeah. Because it gives you a warning. You will start feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
You irritable. You don't want to be bothered. I just feel down. All of the signs and symptoms of it to let you know, hey, this about to pop off. So what you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know? And then, of course, having him was very necessary because he could even see it and he would see what others didn't.
Yeah.
Like, Lion, you're going to have to get up today.
I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've been in bed for 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing. So, you know, having somebody that you're okay with sharing your true self.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a process.
It's a process.
It is a process. I'm sorry to hear about your mom and your nephew.
Oh, yeah.
And because I know, you know, grief has such a dynamic to it.
It does.
You know, and it really can play tricks on you.
It can.
And so I think
it comes in cycles.
Yeah.
And like literally, that's the way it operates, and people need to know that because they was like, I was doing good, and all of a sudden, because the thing about it, your body remembers.
Correct.
Subconsciously, you remember.
Correct.
And even though you put things in that place to try to get your mind off of it, that anniversary of things, your body renews those same emotions and feelings like it's a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely. When you say it's necessary, are you familiar with that song by Fantasia?
Yes.
Go ahead, sing it. Y'all. Go sing, girl.
I can't.
Rich Friends, come on. We trying to get us a live in studio. You go, drop it. You know. Come on now, Nikita.
I don't know the words. Y'all know how you know
y'all
songs?
Know the hook.
Yeah. When it come on. Yeah, I'm there.
Who else knows that song in the audience? Y'all know that song?
They was like, ooh, it's live. We gonna hear it for real.
Okay. Yes. Okay, next time.
Next time. Yeah.
Okay. Talk to us about nursing, right? So you told us a little bit about where you're, and I see you still have that passion. So how are you balancing your passion for nursing, your passion for entertainment, your passion for inspiring people and empowering people and motivating? How are you doing all that, superstar?
So I started doing nursing in a different way. Instead of me being the one in the seat, I consult with those who sitting there.
Gotcha.
So I lead with what other people are lacking.
Gotcha.
I was in the seat. I know they don't feel appreciated. Okay. I know they need help with certain systems. I know they need support with certain follow-up. So I positioned myself to offer all of the things that I didn't have when I was in the seat, and it was attractive to them. So whether I'm mentoring them one-to-one, or if I have a contract with the CEO of a company, that's the way I'm able to do it. I'm flexible. I'm able to own my own time. And then also, that's where the lab came in play.
Yeah.
Because I'm in places all the time, I hear what you say about y'all lab.
Correct.
I see where the ball is dropped. So I'm like, okay. So I know how I'm finna pitch y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So
you have, I can tell you are a connector and you're very, relatable. How does that play into your relationship as husband and wife? You know how sometimes people can be one way when they're facing the public, but then in their relationship, they might be actually totally different.
Honestly, I'm a connector with my husband, but not with people. He's the connector.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's the one I'm like, bro, like, don't bother them people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can admire something on somebody. I'm like, oh, that is nice. A little bit later, I see him talking to him. I'm like, what was you doing? He was like, I asked her where she got that from. I told her, my wife is at mine. Bro, you ain't got to tell her. What are you doing? But that's him. I was raised that's being nosy.
My thoughts is this, because we always attend a conference November, right? You never know who's in the room.
Okay.
Someone may have what you're needing and they can be right in your face, but because you don't know them or you're scared to have a conversation with them, you finna miss out your next level or your next 3 levels because you didn't have a conversation.
Woo, CEO tip number 2. CEO tip number 2. You never know who's in the room. You never know who's in the room.
That's true.
Okay. I love that. So we do this segment called CEO Hot Seats, and we just decided to, combine it with our IAS podcast as well so that, other people can who couldn't make Lunch or Lab. Because a lot of people are very interested in coming to Lunch or Lab. Y'all have no idea. I get all kind of emails and DMs. We don't have a scholarship program.
Right.
And part of that is because I'm a firm believer that if you want to do something, you're going to figure it out.
That's the truth.
And I'm a firm believer that God will provide you, will provide for you what you need. And so sometimes instead of seeking a scholarship, you just need to seek God.
Yeah. You can just seek your habits.
Yeah. Or you can seek your habits. Yeah. You could seek your habits as well. Cause I know a lot. And I think that's CEO tip number 3, because I feel like a lot of time, I know even for myself, I was very much a professional when I started my drug test center and clinical lab. I was $100 an hour, which that don't sound like much these days, but at that point in time,
it's still a lot to a lot of people, believe me.
And it was at that time, but I still had to make sacrifices.
Yes.
I literally, look, the lab would get tissue before the house.
I understand that.
The team members would get snacks before the kids. Y'all
kids, like, first of all,
this hair is tickling me. And and it wasn't that it was just about how funds were allocated. It wasn't that it was quote unquote a lack of funds. It was
you go.
It was just how it was allocated. And so
that's true.
But I feel like that sacrifice, CEO tip number 3, sacrifice is required.
It is.
It's necessary.
It's necessary. We're gonna sing that song that's gonna be the class of 2023 anthem.
Yes.
It was necessary. And so you have to be ready to sacrifice for what you want. You're not entitled to it.
I remember whenever my mom was going through her treatments, a couple of months before that, there were some things that I was looking at. I was like, I can't get that right now. I ain't got that. I was like, that's too much. But somebody would ask for something I would help out, I would do. Fast forward, they said it would be a $500 copay every time she came to have treatment. And she had to come, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It was 3 times out of the week.
Right.
Right? Until her stuff got situated.
Woo!
Now,
$1,500 a week.
Listen, now mind you, I had just said something that was $300 was too much and I can't do that. When them people told Mama she had to have $500, mysteriously somewhere, baby, I came up with them $500. She didn't miss not one treatment.
You made it happen.
Of course, my dad, he was helping, and my sister, different things like that. But I said that to simply say, when you have when the desire is bigger than your excuses,
yes,
it will come.
Yes. And I think CEO tip number 4 is I love the way that you take your perspective and, you speak it in a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we forget that God spoke everything into existence.
Yes, he did.
And so we don't take the words that we speak, that we hear first, or that we think first, so seriously.
Right.
And so I know for me, there are days I don't feel like being a CEO.
That's right. Yeah.
It's days I don't want to talk to my team. Yeah. Like, God bless them, but I don't want to talk to them. It's days that I don't want to show up for a client, but I do, for the record. I show up for the clients. I have to talk myself back to a healthy state. I just start thanking God for my eyes, for my ears. I mean, I literally just start, and before I know it, I'm already feeling better. I'm already feeling more energized. You know what I mean? So I think that that's really important for up and coming and even maybe current entrepreneurs, to understand is that you're not going to always feel on. Let's just keep it real. You're not. You're still a person. Like, do not let social media or celebrities or anybody else fool you. I'm sure Beyonce don't be wanting to hit that stage every time she come out there shaking it like she do.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she'd be like, I wish I could just be at home with my man and my kids.
Yeah.
Or I wish I could go hang out with my mom or my girls.
Right.
And so you have to have a mechanism. You got to know what helps you show up. So if it's prayer and appeal, whatever it is that you need, you got to have that consistently so that you can show up and be consistent. Because my clients will never know that if I'm having, that's not their problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I may talk to them about certain things as an example, but I'm always like, that don't have nothing to do with them.
Right.
Let me get on the phone with them. Let me get in front of them. Let me, push through, because I want that same energy in the universe for myself.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We do a thing, you remember the on and off method?
Yep.
What is it?
On and off.
What does it consist of? You remember?
I can't remember.
But you remember when I broke it down. So we do a thing, it's on and off. You go through any way that you're able to receive or send money, email, text message, DM. So communication and cash, right? On and off. I want you to look at what you have coming in, what you have going out. The messages that's coming in, are they checking on you, or are they trying to get something off of you?
Yeah.
Right? The Cash Apps, the Zelles, the Venmos, the whatever it is it being sent out, or are you receiving? Does that thing balance out?
Yeah.
So when you start feeling depleted and overwhelmed and got all this stuff going on, just check your ledger. Now, it's going to hurt your little feelings. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you, we cut at least 3 of our own kids off. We was like, no, you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But you remember we did that?
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's eye-opening. And you will see you really got way more time, money,
Way more.
Yes.
and all of that stuff. You just got it going in places that doesn't return the investment for you.
Yes. That is so true. That's super true.
You got to keep inventory.
You gotta keep inventory.
So we like to say return on investment. No, let your ROI be return on intention.
Return on intention.
What is that person's intention with you and for you?
Absolutely.
You know you building. So if they ain't adding value to that, what we doing? It's heavier to lift something whenever it's got extra loads in it, and that's not even yours.
Totally.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. So speaking of intention, I'm gonna switch over here to Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanna, rewind the clock a little bit. When you met Nikita Blaney, and tell us about how you established your intentions for the
Tell the
future
truth to the
Mrs.
people.
Williams.
Will we tell the truth?
Yeah, not the version we got now. You tell these people the truth. Ain't that right from 06? Tell them that version.
Okay.
05?
So when meeting Nikita, we both were designated drivers.
Okay.
You tell the truth. Go ahead.
And my cousins, they like to drink, so we had designated drivers holiday weekend.
Don't snitch on nobody. I just tell the truth.
No names will be said to protect the people, right?
Okay.
So my cousin knew Nikita.
Okay.
And I was a single man at that time.
Boy,
I was like David with Bathsheba. I had to have her. Oh God!
David out of order.
But see, that was David. I'm not.
Okay. Oh, he tried to be so biblical, y'all boys. Stop.
Yeah. But we've been rocking ever since. We had a great conversation the night before. But what really sealed the deal, I knew her father.
Okay.
And she was like, "You don't know my dad." I said, "Yeah, I do know your dad." And she said, "You don't know my dad." I said, "I do." I told him what it looked like when he drives. He said, "How you know my dad?" I said, "I go to church."
Stalker.
My dad a pastor.
Okay.
And so that what got me in the dough.
Okay.
And we chopped it up all that night. Next night. And we've been rocking
And that's been ever since.
That's been ever since.
Yeah.
Awesome.
3 weeks we was shacking. I mean, it went fast.
I seen where I was going.
Okay, rich friends, the I Am Sheila Michelle podcast does not condone.
Come on. There you go.
That's my shade room disclaimer. Does not condone. No, it's all good. I love it.
That's our story.
So tell us a little bit, give us a little background on you, sir. What are your wow factors?
So I am a healthcare administrator. I run a dementia unit in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Nice.
And so me and Keita have family care homes that we currently sold, and we're going to buy our own facility.
Okay.
So we movers and shakers out here.
I love
But what's
that.
your wow factor, though?
My wow factor?
Yes, I can tell them what your wow factors
my
are.
wow factor?
Number one, Terrance is very distinctive with what he does. If Terrance sets up a place or he puts his design spin on it, you know his work. So it's very distinctive. Even with the way he put things together, I had to really, really tell him, do not put on a tie, bro. Like, dress regular. Because, like, a lot of times when we first started out, he almost looked like he was selling me insurance all the time. You know what I'm saying? And because I was just regular t-shirt, shoot, you know, whatever. But he brought this side of me out.
Oh,
so
wow.
a wow factor for him is being able to quickly identify things in other people to bring them forward to be their best self.
Love that.
And he does it through fashion and design.
Yes. So you image consulting or styling?
I do styling and image consulting. I'll be having my first runway fashion show in Charlotte the fall of this year.
Okay, well, look right over there in that camera and let the people know how they can connect with that.
So you go follow me. My name is Tarrance Williams, and my design company is Distinctive Designs, and look for great things to come forward.
Are you on what social handles?
Nothing.
I'm not.
Look over. He's not on anything.
So what happened?
I've been telling him to get on it because CEOs are visible.
What happened with this? Our lives are so complex, right?
Oh.
But then when Nikita do her shows and the people see me out and they were like, "Do you have a stylist?" I said, "No, I put this together." And so. And
Nikita who styles you, and they was like, oh, my husband. They was like, I'm gonna get him. I said, first of all, you got a Jezebel spirit, so you can find somebody else to do it.
Not Jezebel.
We're gonna cut this segment out, okay?
But yeah, he do good or whatever.
Well, this what y'all. This what the I Am Sheila Michelle live in studio podcast be like. Just so we clear. So the next time we're doing live in studio, y'all want to get y'all a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this is beautiful. So again, during Lunch or Lab, we have a segment called CEO Hot Seats. And so the reason why we have the hot seats, obviously, are to help some of the participants either with an active problem, because we do have people that are serial entrepreneurs. How many of you ladies already have a business, whether it's up and going or not? So we got one person, three people, right? So many times I come in contact with people who already have started a business. And it may be up and going, or it may be kind of, on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
But it gives us an opportunity to work with them actively through a problem solving. I love problem solving because stuff ain't as hard as we make it sometimes.
It's really not.
One objective that we have every day. So the team literally has a playbook. And in that playbook, part of the objectives that are outlined is that we answer all the questions that y'all have.
Good
okay.
stuff.
All right. You just tell me when we ready, Kim. Okay. So so I love this. I got some questions.
Okay.
So you met each other in 06. Okay.
05, something like
05.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that area.
So we almost at 20 years.
Yeah. We 19 years this year.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So talk to us about because I remember during our February Lunch or Lab, we did Love and Business.
I
and
saw
we had
that.
some amazing couples come in. And some of the ladies that participated, I was like, well, that's good, but I don't have anybody right now. And my response to that was we should always be thinking about where we're going and not just where we are.
Yeah.
So that being said, somebody may not have a significant other in this room, but they do need to understand what is it like as an entrepreneur, as a CEO of your own company or enterprise when you do have a significant other, because it's a difference, I would say.
It's a difference. And I also want to let people know that sometimes people can have a significant other and still be alone.
Say that.
Okay, so like when Tarrance and I first started out, like we were doing what they would say regular stuff. I was working as a nurse. He was working as a healthcare administrator. 9 to 5, the hustle bustle. Life changed for me. But he had a vision of life being a certain way.
Yeah.
So whenever I stepped out and was doing things differently, we were not on the same page. Right. We weren't even in the same book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then it comes to a point of you being in tune with yourself enough to say, you know what, I'm going to make this happen, even if I have to do it alone. But this is the thing. You have to understand that just because a person is not in collaboration with you does not mean they don't support you.
That is correct.
And if you are alone, that's the thing. You don't have to be. It may not be an intimate partner, but you have the Sheila Michelle's.
Right.
You have other people out there who are there, open, willing to connect with you. But because our desire for something that has nothing to do with our business is pulling us, we feel like we can't do it.
Right.
Because we base success off of what we prefer at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So knowing exactly, like you said, what you want and which way you going, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So CEO tip number 4, support doesn't always look like how you think it's going to look.
Right.
Sometimes you have to acknowledge God. Well, we should always be acknowledging God, but you have to acknowledge God for what is working.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I was taking a walk the other day and I was like, if I focus so much on the things that are not going as I wish they would go, or the things that are negative, it's like I'm saying everything is bad.
Right.
You know? So support not going to always look. You may have somebody who just come in and help you for the day. You may never see that person. That person may never be there for you again. You may have somebody who with you for the long haul and then they drop off unexpectedly.
Yeah.
You thank God and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a ladder. It's over, up. Over, up.
Oh, yeah.
And God will send you who it is that he wants you to work with and who needs to work with you, but he is very, very, very productive. Meaning that whenever he's lining you up with somebody, it's not just for you, it's for them as well. And so when he moves them, it's for the same reason. And, you know, my husband is very supportive. He's very, very supportive, sight unseen. He's now, he just bought his first dump truck.
Oh,
shout out to Prestige Global Logistics.
Get it.
Yeah, so excited.
Yeah.
We previously had another, we had a cargo van. And we just rented out. So, you know, we weren't doing much with it from a transportation. But I'm saying that to say that the support looked different because he wasn't in the details. It was just like, I just got your back when you fall.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just here to listen, you know, when you don't have a bad day. You know, it's not always getting about to tear up. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not always, you know, I remember one time I was going to this event and this woman, she was relying on her husband, I guess, to bring something, and he was late. I don't know what the situation was. But she was scolding him, not in a bad way, but she was scolding him, right? Don't scold the help.
Don't.
You know what I mean? Like, don't scold the help. So get what you can, thank God for it, and keep it pushing. And, you know, so you may not be able, because our husband's not our girlfriends. That's another thing that we have to realize too. They're not our girlfriend. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, babe. I'm talking to you like the girlfriend. My bad.
Right.
So it's like we have to accept sometimes. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't put a requirement out there.
Right.
But, you know, be reasonable with people because you don't got time to waste.
Right.
So you don't need to be tying up your energy complaining because he didn't do what your girlfriend would have done.
Right.
And that's a good point. Or if that person didn't do it the way you would have done.
Yes.
Like me, I would ask, I'm like, babe, I need you to X, Y, and Z. And by the time he get to Z, I'm like, why you do it like that? You know? And then it got to a point where he finally was like, did it get done?
Okay.
You know, and now I'm like, you know, but I had, and this is the other thing too, learn how people learn.
Right.
Learn how they receive and process information.
Yes.
Because you can give a task to somebody, but if they thinking of it one way and you thinking of it another, baby, you about to be hotter than fish grease. I'm telling you that right now. So just give clear instructions. And we have a lot of nurses or whatever, so y'all know what it is. Give clear instructions, return, demonstrate. Oh, you got it. Okay. So that you won't have to repeat it. And because you know what happens in our mind, we were like, they ain't want to do it no way. That's why they did it like that. No, they did the best they could with what they had.
They did the best.
You know?
Yeah.
So to echo what Keita is saying, when she asks for something or wants something done or she has a vision that she wants to go forward, I say, babe, if you write it down, I can make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it plain. Show me what you want it to look like. Because I'm very, I like to make things aesthetically pleasing. I want everything to look like you want it to look. So if you can put it down on paper, I can make it come to reality.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And talk to us also. I know we got to wrap soon. Unfortunately, I love this. We gotta have another segment with y'all. But talk to us about like overall, you know, because you got Nikita and Tarrance, the individuals. Y'all are obviously powerhouses. I mean, we can get that from your energy, not just the way that you look. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You got yourselves as individuals, right? Individual goals, struggles. Then you've got the marriage, and then you've got the kids, and then you've got the extended family. So as leaders and influencers, right, of your respective areas, how have you been able to kind of navigate those things?
Blue cheese dressing, you familiar with that? Y'all familiar with blue cheese? I almost wanted to go my separate ways from Tarrance because of blue cheese dressing. And I'm going to tell y'all why it's going to tie in. We was at a restaurant and we was getting my favorite things, hot wings, flats, extra crispy, lemon pepper.
Wait, go, come on, girl.
Come on, yes. That's what the Lord would have done.
The people that know.
Yeah. So she came and she brought the stuff out, and then she was like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any ranch. All we have is blue cheese. What was it? Blue cheese. And I was like, nah. Tarrance was like, oh, it's okay, I'll take it. I was like, nah, he really want blue cheese. A ranch. This is a wing place, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, babe, no, it's okay. I was like, nah, if you want the ranch, you can get the ranch, right? Because I'm being a good wife. Y'all, dude said, babe, I actually prefer blue cheese. Who are you? I said, you prefer blue cheese? Y'all, I literally wailed up at the restaurant. Been with this man at that time over 15 years. Didn't know that he liked that spoiled taste. I didn't know. I said, well, Tarrance, why you never get blue? Why did you get it? He said, because you always prefer ranch. And if you was straight, I was straight. I said, what else don't I know about you? Right?
My.
This dude liked to fish. I'm like, bruh, we never went fishing before. You know what I'm saying? But, well, I didn't think you liked to go fishing. And it bothered me so bad that I could be so focused and self-absorbed that I didn't even consider what he would or wouldn't like.
Yeah.
And that he could be so okay with not even including himself.
Yes.
So from that point on, we made it intentional to have conversations, to ask him certain things. He asked me certain things. Well, you know, and I'm telling you, it really bothered me for a little bit to the point he was like, babe, I'm straight. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, getting to really know that person, not just for their flaws, but what do they like? What pulls you? What drives you? Babe, you don't got to be behind the scenes no more. People know Keita and Tarrance. Like, let's do that. No, I'm okay. But you grinning in everybody's face, so you must want to be seen. Tarrance, come on.
You want to stop.
But really, I'm telling you, it was a blue cheese experience, honey. I'm telling you.
No, but I can identify with that. I can definitely identify with that. Thank you for sharing that, because I know that's gonna help some of my rich friends for real. Like, it's gonna save some relationships.
It's not all about you.
And I don't think that applies just to, you know, intimate relationships. I think you can apply that to your friendships as well. Because as I guess CEO tip number 5, and the final one is, nothing is more important than relationships, y'all.
That's right.
Don't forget that. Your success is definitely tied to another person.
Right.
It is absolutely tied to another person. It really, really is. I love Nikita. You know, we ain't even spent that much time together.
Not really.
We really ain't spent that much time together.
I feel like my mama said I can't stay long.
Yeah. But we just connect.
Yes.
And that's what matters.
Yes, that's what matters.
But I want to go ahead and have the team pass around the mic. Let's get some questions from our in-studio audience before y'all get out of here.
Hi, Miss Nikita. How are you?
Hey there.
There was something that we talked about during lunch that was about fear, right? I would like to know your input on something like, you know, on having a business, or trying to attempt to have a business, but you're scared of failing. You know what I mean? We talked about something where we said, like, well, what if you don't fail? You know, so I just wanted to get your input on fear on starting a new business.
Yes. So the question is, that's how they be doing on daily things. So the question was, how do I feel about it? What's my perspective on fear? And I love it. You know why? Because the enemy will never give you a warning to not do something that's not going to do you harm. He'll let you slide right into that. You feel real excited to do some foolishness. You wish somebody would, right?
Right.
No fear at all. Bad decisions all throughout it. But whenever we make a decision that we're going to do something that's really going to serve us, that's when all the doubt, the fear, and all the other foolishness, that's what I call it when I stop cussing. Foolishness comes, right? So To answer your question is this. I, number one, identify why am I afraid? Always remember this. There's never, ever, 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 ever a fear that's not attached to an experience. Never. Whatever experience that you had with whatever this thing or person or whatever situation was, your body remembers it. Your brain does not operate in the future, only in the past. So when you think, oh, I'm gonna do this new thing, your brain's like, hey girl, you mean we did that last new thing, don't you? Don't do it, sis, because it's designed to protect you. Right. But when you know that you are operating under the protector and you know that you're going in the direction you need to go in, he up there like, what up though, right? So it's literally, faith and fear can operate at the same time. They can be in the same body. Don't let nobody fool you.
Right.
But which one has more weight? So you got to identify, why do I feel this way? Then you got to have evidence for your confidence. Because it's just because you don't have confidence. How am I going to get evidence, Nikita? I'm glad you asked. You get evidence by your past experiences. Yeah. What have you accomplished before? It don't matter how big or small it is. You start writing it down. What did you think you weren't going to overcome and you did? What did you think you weren't going to accomplish but you did? I don't care what you went through to do it, you got it done. So then when all that other stinking thinking comes, you start going to your evidence box to bring it up so you can combat it. Because fear literally is a negative emotion, a premeditated thing that you came up with, created, that ain't even happened.
We were just talking about that during lunch.
You see how amazing you are? Your brain done went and did a whole business plan on fear and failing.
Yep.
And they did the first thing about how many pencils and pens you need.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's your mindset and who you let in your eye gate and what you're listening to.
Come on.
You don't people that have negative or talk with negative undertones, disengage with them or don't surround yourself with those people. Get around people that's positive. Get around people that's doing it. And if you see them doing it, if God allowed them to do it, why won't you think He'll allow you to do it?
What we say about unqualified people.
Don't let unqualified people disqualify you.
Yes. That's why we bring in other people in Lunch or Lab. Remember I said that. So it's like, if y'all don't want to take my word for it, but y'all should, by the way. But just in case y'all don't want to take my word for it, you can see the Williams, you can see Monique, and some of the other people that y'all see this weekend that it's real. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody that you see at some point was overwhelmed by fear.
Yes.
But they did. I don't really like the term do it scared because I just feel like I believe in God too much for that. But they did it anyway.
Yeah, they did it anyway. You take fear and you jump with it, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
you take fear and you jump with it.
We was at that same situation. We were scared to do the first business launch, because it's a big financial investment up front. And then we was like, we don't want how are we going to do with this? It's about $50,000 going. Yeah, we're going to be all right, baby.
Yeah.
But we talked to Nikita's father. He's a pastor and he was overseer. And he was like, hey, take the fear and jump with it. I see what y'all doing. And when you jump and you see the progress in the process, and you start seeing those bank statements. Yeah. And you start, I can do this.
And this the thing.
It's okay.
Right, it's okay to fail fast.
Yes.
Don't prolong it. What are you doing, honey? Fail fast. Learn from it. Fail forward. So although, I stumble right here, I'm still a step in front of me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And don't talk so much prematurely, because what it is, you're not really afraid of failing. You're afraid somebody going to see you fail. They're going to, I knew she couldn't do it. What you tell that one for anyway?
Right.
That's like the one that will tell you, I wouldn't have bought this car. You a passenger though. You understand? Like what we doing.
Right.
You got to have these type of conversations with people who understand the verbiage and not with yes men and women. Some people tell you yes just because they love you.
Yep.
They'll tell you yes just because they love you. When I started transition from being a director of nursing to a comedian, my grandma, she loved me. But she was like, oh, so you finna be a full-time clown. That's what you're telling me? I said, God, dog. Yeah. But it was her fear that she was speaking from. Now, had I subscribed to that, I would have stopped.
Right.
And you know why you feel some type of way when people say negative things? It's because you believe it. My mama told me whenever somebody was saying, I was like, it just bothers me. She said, why? She said, it wouldn't bother you, Keita, if you didn't believe it.
Yes.
And that stuck with me.
Right.
What do you believe about you? Because if you know you can do it, you just don't believe that you can.
And y'all can go check my stories. And I didn't even talk to Nikita. You go check my stories from last night and you're going to see exactly. If you go to I Am Sheila Michelle and go to my stories, I literally said when you're going to change the way that you think about yourself.
See? That's what confirmation does.
And y'all remember the story in the Bible? Just to,
here you go.
I'm just gonna,
Come on, Deacon.
I'm gonna be very quick. But y'all remember the guy had many? He was possessed with many demons, and God was traveling by, and he said, "Lord, I believe. I don't want you to help my disbelief." So you can be a believer. My unbelief. You can be a believer, but you don't believe it's possible. It's not possible for you.
Yes, sir.
But it's possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I want y'all to put your hands together and thank so much
Thank
the
you.
Williams who have come in. Definitely have to have y'all back.
We'll come
as
back.
individuals and as a couple.
Yeah.
You know, we do have a male audience as well, so they could definitely benefit for, you know, from you, Mr. Williams, learning how to, you know, increase their presence, you know, through image and style.
Image matters, y'all.
And all those different things. And, you know, Nikita, you just a gift that keep on giving. So I want to thank y'all so much for traveling in from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Absolutely.
I know y'all had other commitments. We really appreciate y'all being here, especially with the number of nurses that we have, but also our non-nurse community. It's just been a blessing, and I really am grateful.
Thank you so much for having us.
And before we close out, we want to make sure that you absolutely know where to meet the Williams at online.
Oh, yeah. So follow us, not in your car. Okay. But on Instagram, currently it's I am Nikita B. But because we are beautifully blended, that's gonna switch up. So go ahead and follow me at I am Nikita B. We are transforming that page into a lifestyle brand to show people that you can do it beautifully blended.
Y'all know exactly where to tune in. Next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have another awesome episode of the I Am Sheila Michelle podcast. This has been our in-studio audience from Lunch or Lab here with us. Thank y'all so much.
Yay. Yay.